WXII 12 News at 11 starts right now.
Dozens of people are displaced and a woman is behind bars after a massive apartment complex fire in Greensboro. I'm Brandon Bates, live with the breaking details coming up.
Parts of Houston, Texas still underwater due to one of several tropical systems. We're tracking their latest paths tonight.
We're going to begin in Greensboro, where authorities are investigating a fire that's forcing many people to have to find another place to stay for the time being.
And police say that a woman who answered the door with a gun set this house on fire intentionally. Aline Smith is facing a number of charges now, including breaking and entering and arson.
Let's go to Brandon Bates. He is live at the Legacy Crossing Apartments on Hans Lane tonight. Brandon, a lot going on here. What have you learned?
Yeah, a lot going on. It all started with a domestic dispute call here at this apartment complex. This is right off of the corner of Franklin Boulevard and Hans Lane. Officials say they responded here to that domestic call. When they got here, they were met at the door by a woman armed with a shotgun, and then she was taken into custody. Then this happened. The second floor of the apartment building caught fire quickly. This video was given to us by Ashley Efert, who lives just down the street. New information tonight shows that 21-year-old Aline Smith was charged with breaking and entering, larceny after breaking and entering, possession of a weapon of mass destruction, as well as shooting a gun in city limits, and charged with arson as well. Again, we're told on the scene the woman had a shotgun in her pocket. To be considered a weapon of mass destruction, that would have had to be a sawed-off shotgun. We're told that nobody was injured here, which is some great news to report, but about 25 people are displaced from this apartment complex. Reporting live in Greensboro, Brandon Bates, WXII 12 News.
All right, thank you so much, Brandon. We are also following up on two recent instances of deadly domestic violence. Greensboro police say a mother of four was shot and killed earlier this month by her estranged husband in a credit union parking lot, which is actually where she worked. And in Burlington, a husband and wife recently separated were found shot to death, along with a man reportedly dating the woman involved. WXI 12 talked with a local expert in domestic violence to find out what victims can do to survive and get out of their situation. Meredith Hooks manages the Safe on 7 program. She says the 2 weeks after a victim takes back control of his or her life is the most dangerous time. She suggests that they file for an emergency restraining order. Contact police or 911 or a crisis hotline if you or someone you know is in immediate danger. Domestic violence shelters can also be a life-saving resource.
Shelter can be a lifesaver because it's a space where they can be physically safe, but also access help where there was none available.
If you or anyone you know needs a National Domestic Violence Hotline, the number right here on your screen, 1-800-799-7233. We have more information on WXI12.com as well. Just click on the story.
New tonight, a man is facing multiple serious charges after police in Burlington say he opened fire on several of their officers. Officer Connor Pratt says he stopped Markel Buchanan near the intersection of Key and Rahut Streets to serve felony arrest warrants when investigators say Buchanan took off on foot and then opened fire at them, along with responding Lieutenant Mark Yancey. No one was struck by any bullets. Everyone was not physically injured, but one home was struck nearby. Buchanan is now being held without bond tonight, pending his first court appearance tomorrow. The 19-year-old accused of plotting to shoot up High Point University is undergoing a mental evaluation right now. A judge ordered Paul Stieber to be involuntarily committed to Central Regional Hospital in Butner. He was transferred last week. Officers found a pistol and a shotgun in his dorm room, they say, back on August 27th. Stieber is due in court next month.
A new PSA is a grim reality of what a growing number of school children are now faced with. We do want to warn you that this ad you're about to see that starts off showing school supplies, it takes an emotional and shocking turn as students use their new gear when a gunman enters the school. The clip could be upsetting for some.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
The PSA released by Sandy Hook Promise has been watched more than 5 million times since just this morning. The nonprofit group formed after the 2012 massacre that left 20 children dead. They hope to raise awareness for signs of violence in children and say turning away and pretending the problem doesn't exist will not solve this problem. Winston-Salem police say new testing helped them to solve a 25-year-old cold case. John Alford is expected in court next week. He's facing rape and kidnapping charges. He was already being held by the Department of Corrections for unrelated crimes. Investigators say that he ended up raping a woman in November of 1993. The case was marked inactive a few months later, but evidence was recently tested as part of the state's sexual assault kit testing initiative, and that helped police make an arrest.
North Carolina's Attorney General is preparing to make a big announcement, he says, related to testing sexual assault kits. WXII 12 plans to be there as Josh Stein and other leaders make that announcement at the State Crime Lab in Raleigh. A couple of years ago, if you recall, a statewide inventory revealed more than 15,000 untested rape kits in police custody, some of them as old as 30-plus years. Legislation has since passed in the State House to get more tested, and just yesterday, state lawmakers advanced a mini-budget spending bill that addresses the issue as well. That is currently on the governor's desk, awaiting his signature.
New tonight, state agents are investigating vandalism reported at the home, a Mocksville Town Board member's home, where the police chief there, Police Chief Pat Reagan, tells us officers went out to Amy Vaughn Jones' house last night. The State Bureau of Investigation confirms it is now looking into the destruction of campaign election signs, communication of threats, and threats toward elected public officials. Now, Vaughn Jones was at the center of controversy after the removal of Mocksville Police Department's therapy cat, Sergeant Butters. You can read much more on the vandalism investigation and our previous coverage on our WXII 12 website and mobile app.
One day after High Point University announced a $1 billion investment over the next 10 years, city leaders are marking another step forward in a downtown revitalization project that's been going on for some time now. They, along with developers, broke ground this morning on Market Center. It's on North Elm Street, not far from BB&T Point Stadium, the new baseball field. Once it's finished, this project will include apartments and a hotel, along with office space and business space. Local leaders are hoping this investment will draw in even more people to the city and to downtown.
The groundbreaking today was the first of 4 to 5 buildings that are on the way. The primary tenant is going to be a food hall on the first floor, which is kind of like your food court at the mall, but all the stores or all the restaurants in it are going to be local.
The goal is to have Market Center open to the public this April.
The community will come together tomorrow in downtown Winston-Salem to raise awareness about infant mortality. It's all for Infant Mortality Awareness Month. The 10th annual Walk a Mile to Save Our Babies event kicks off at 11 a.m. at Golan Memorial AME Zion Church. That's located on Patterson Avenue. Registration begins at 10:30. Walkers, as you see here in the past, they will be doing the same. They will be pushing empty strollers to honor all newborns who have died and bring attention to what the community can do to lower the infant mortality rates in our community. The Forsyth County Infant Mortality Reduction Coalition is helping to organize this event.
To our nation's capital now, where the president is upping sanctions against Iran in the first concrete response to that major oil facility attack in Saudi Arabia over the weekend. He says details on the specifics of those sanctions will come out before the end of the week. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo spent part of his day in the Middle East in Saudi Arabia coordinating the U.S. response, with the potential of military action still very much on the table. Pompeo called the attack an act of war. Earlier in the day, the Saudi government displayed some drone and missile parts they claim are remnants from the strike and are linked directly to Iran. Iran, for the record, denies all involvement. Commitment 2020 now. North Carolina's junior U.S. Senator Thom Tillis is featuring President Trump in the first ad for his re-election campaign next year. The commercial airs statewide, and it includes footage from a Trump rally where the president called Tillis a warrior. The Republicans' campaign says it plans to spend about $2 million on television ads. Senator Tillis is already facing a primary challenger. That would be retired investment executive Garland Tucker. He, too, is seeking the GOP nomination for that U.S. Senate seat.
Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders is taking his campaign to North Carolina starting tomorrow. He's going to be speaking at UNC Chapel Hill Thursday evening at 5:30. And then Friday, he's going to make 2 stops in Greensboro, touring the International Civil Rights Center and Museum in the morning, and then hosting a town hall that is scheduled for 1:30 at Bennett College. Now, space for the town hall is first come, first served. Dozens of newly drawn legislative districts for North Carolina are being reviewed by a panel of state judges. The House and Senate approved the new map on Tuesday, a day ahead of today's deadline. The old districts were ruled unconstitutional because they favored Republican candidates. An outside expert will help the judges review the maps. The final districts will be used in next year's elections.
Medicaid expansion is once again advancing with bipartisan support in the North Carolina State House. The House Health Committee voted today for an expansion measure. If it goes all the way through, it would set work requirements and premiums for hundreds of thousands of lower income adults who enroll. The bill has been on hold since the General Assembly and the governor can't agree on a budget. Even if the full House approves this expansion proposal, Senate Republicans are strongly opposed to it.